Hi everyone! Seeing me decked out in this much pink, you probably know what time of year it is, and that is for the Komen More Than Pink fundraiser and walk, which is designed to move us closer to a world without breast cancer. I am so grateful to now be 2 years breast cancer free, but through that experience, I've also come to understand how critical funding is to move us closer to a world where no one has to experience the disease. Now, if you have been at all listening or reading the news, you have probably heard that there are threats to federal funding for all types of medical research, including breast cancer. And it is no exaggeration to say that the proposed cuts to funding for next year could set us back 20 years in the fight toward ending breast cancer. That is time that we do not have. And there could be future cuts. There's already cuts this year. There could be others. So that is where, in addition to asking you for money, it is so critical that we contact our Congress members and ask that breast cancer research be fully funded. Two areas I'm going to link to. The first is the Screens for Cancer Act, which was recently reintroduced in the Senate. And this act is critical because it provides crucial funding for low-income women to have access to breast cancer treatment and prevention resources. So we really need that act to pass. And the next is to fully fund NIH. NIH is a critical partner in moving us toward a world without breast cancer. They supply billions of dollars to all kinds of research centers and programs everywhere. So we really need for that funding to be present as well. So please reach out to your Congress members for that. It's important to note too that Komen actually does not take funding from the government, so no federal funding. So all of the money that they raise for research, advocacy, and awareness is all from private donations, whether that's individuals or organizations. So their work is critical. And since their inception in the 1980s, Komen has devoted $3.6 billion across the board when you consider research, awareness, and advocacy efforts and direct patient services. So they are also a critical partner. They can't replace federal funding, but again, they are crucial in moving us closer to a world without breast cancer. And I've also come to learn from hearing the stories of some other breast cancer thrivers and survivors that there are some women who are one clinical trial away from not making it. Now, women who have stage 4 metastatic breast cancer means that it has spread to some other part of their body. Some women with that live many years. I've met metastatic breast cancer survivors who have survived for 25 plus years. But there's also some people who there's no treatment on the market for them that works. So they're always in a clinical trial. And what happens is if they are in a trial and it's no longer working, which could be for some people months or maybe years, they just join the next clinical trial. So if we stop innovating for breast cancer, not only do we impact people who don't yet have the disease, but also people today who need the next clinical trial to stay alive. So that underscores how important that funding is to continue that research. But I also want to share some positive stats about how far we have come in the fight to end breast cancer. In 1920, the survival rate for breast cancer invasive breast cancer was 5%. And today, based on 2024 numbers, it is 91%. Now, there's some breast cancers that have a higher rate of survival. I had stage 0 breast cancer, which has a 98 to 99% survival rate, and it was non-invasive. But there's other types of breast cancers that have a lower rate than 91%. But the fact that the overall rate is 91% means that we have come so far. And it's also important to note that since 1989, the death rate has decreased by 44%. So that means that we have made so many advancements in the last few decades, and we want to also continue that momentum. So that is where fundraising is so important to support the programs that Komen advances to get us closer to that world. That is why I am a part of fundraising efforts, because I've come to understand that I am just one person. But the goal is to ensure that women, first of all, don't get the disease at all, but also that women who have had it continue to thrive. A study by the American Cancer Society recently actually indicates that by 2035, we will have 5.3 million female breast cancer survivors. So that is a testament to the work that we're doing, and so we want to keep getting there. So that's where, again, funding is so critical. Last year, I had a goal of raising $20,000 initially. I ended up raising 12. So 12 is, not nothing. It's important, but especially in the climate we're in, I would love to raise much more money than that. My average donation was $115. So thank you to everyone who donated, but any amount counts. And so I would love to get more donors, even higher amounts if that's possible too. But any amount that you give is very much appreciated. And please spread the word as well. The last thing I want to mention is the More Than Pink walk that is happening in the DMV, the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. Our area walk is happening on October 11th. I'm going to have my third team for the third year in a row. The walk is actually going to take place at National Harbor. So this is the first time we've actually done it there. It's usually at Freedom Plaza. So we'd love to have more people. And it's actually, again, a Saturday, October 11th. So new date, not a Sunday. So hopefully more people can come out. And we would love to see you at the National Harbor. Thank you so much for your time and for supporting the cause of moving us closer to a world without breast cancer.